Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the House that Ross built. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about, it's not necessarily new, but it happened over the last several months where the real estate agents, and I'll back it up, just kind of give you guys a brief background of how it works. So real estate agents, obviously they're in the market to sell, are represent sellers and represent buyers, right? If you need a house, you go to a real estate agent and they help you find a house, or they help you sell your house if that's what you're doing. So traditionally, it was basically a common percentage rate that they would charge you. That would be 3% for the buyer's agent, 3% for the seller's agent, which would cost, the seller always pays that most times. So that's 6% that the seller was paying. Now, technically by law, they weren't supposed to enforce that, but what they were doing is if you didn't pay them 3%, they would not show your house as much. They wouldn't represent you. If you were selling a house, other agents wouldn't come and show their clients your house because they're not making that 3% commission, and that became a huge problem. So a lot of people were angry, and the anger has been going on for several years. They're like, you guys, especially with technology now, you list the house online, people go and see it, there's a lockbox, that's electric, you hit the button, the door opens. Agents don't necessarily do a whole lot of work anymore. But even before the 6%, if you're selling a house for $300,000-$400,000, 6% is a lot of money for the seller to have to pay. So what they did is they actually passed a law that they can no longer do that. You can no longer encourage, influence, or not represent somebody because they're not paying you 3%, which was technically already the law, but now they're enforcing it. So what happened was the real estate association, they actually got sued, right? They had to go to court, and so now a lot of these companies that were known to be doing that, to actually force people to pay that 6%, 3%, and 3%, they're getting fined, right? So it's going to be, the trickle down is going to be huge, because now agents aren't going to be making that automatic 3%, and then the buyer, it's going to help the regular community because we don't have to pay that 6%, right? I'm in real estate, I flip houses, so if I have to pay 6% every time that I sell a house, that's huge, right? That's a lot of money coming out of my pocket. So it's also going to be good for investors. And I think it's well overdue, again, with technology and things like that. The agents weren't really earning that as they were back in the day. They would have to drive people around, they would do all these things. Now there are going to be some agents that actually are high-end agents that sell high-end homes. They're still going to look for the 3%, right? And then they cater to you, though. They offer you a little more than just a regular realtor. So that's something you can check out, read the news, read about it, especially if you're a real estate agent. That's something you should know if you don't already know. And if you're in, real estate flipping or buying, that's also something you should know, because you may have an agent that's been charging you 3% on both sides, buyer and seller. And now you can say, hey, let's negotiate something else, right? Let's negotiate 1%, 2%, wherever you feel comfortable with, and that's going to save you a lot of money. So that's just a little quick tip, something you guys to look out for, some news that's very, very important in our market today.
Do you feel like it's going to get rid of the need for an agent, or draw people to buy directly the homes themselves?
Yes, so with that, what's going to happen is, because a lot of these agents, with all the fees you have to pay to be an agent, a lot of people don't understand there's a lot of fees involved to actually be an agent. These agents that are, maybe it's a part-time thing, or, they kind of do it halfway, it's going to phase a lot of them out. They're not going to be able to stay in business, right? Because they were getting that 3%, selling a house here or there, and that was good income, covered their fees, putting a little money in their pocket. When you're talking about just making 1-2%, that's going to be a huge difference, right? So that's why I was saying before that these agents that cater, the higher end agents, the agents that, go above and beyond, that are going to still, want that 3%, and are going to be, the 3% will be warranted because of the work they do, that those are the ones that are going to survive. So I don't know if people know, but agents, there's thousands and thousands of agents. If you look up in your city, you look up real estate agents, there's thousands and thousands of them. And I think this is going to eliminate a lot of that. A lot of that competition is going to be gone. A lot of people aren't going to want to get into the game because the money is not the same, right? So it's very important, again, if you're looking to be a real estate agent, to look into that, to know what you're getting into. A little quick market update. Peace. So thank you for joining us.
Different conversations as it relates to